Hello and welcome to today's news video. We don't have a lot of news stories for you, but we do have some crazy ones that make for good stories. Firstly, we'll look at the guy who had the best shot of winning his first MX2 title this year, Monster Energy Yamaha rider Jago Geerts, and his season-ending injury that happened in Finland this weekend. Then we'll take a look at the popular privateer in the United States, Jerry Robin, and a recent illness that could have killed him. Now, before we get into those two stories, we do have today's special guest, a guy who's risen in popularity quite quickly, Lars Van Berkel. Before we call him up, you know the drill. Head to themxnetwork.com and snag a magazine or two. The site-wide sale ends in a couple days, so if you want to support my work directly, now's the best time. Huge thanks to all of you guys who already have ordered one. And special thanks to Neil Hannum from Colorado, who ordered one of every edition. It means the world to me. Thanks so much, man. All right, let's call up today's special guest, the sand specialist Dutch Honda rider, Lars Van Berkel. Today's special guest is a guy who races all around the world, goes to all sorts of different championships, and is known as a sand expert, Lars Van Berkel. Hey, Lars, I'm glad to have you on today. You're actually a hard guy to get a hold of now. You're pretty popular around the world. For those of my viewers who don't know who you are, could you introduce yourself?
Well, that's true, yeah. It's crazy how the last few weeks changed everybody's view on me, maybe. I think half the world or half America didn't even know me or that I existed.
Yeah.
Until 3 weeks ago, and then I've been on some podcasts and had some quite a lot of media attention. But I'm already 29 years old, so I'm existing for a bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm from the Netherlands, and I mainly do beach racing, which is the main focus. On the side, I do also motocross. Well, don't get me wrong, I train really hard still for that, but it's more like the fun thing, just because beach racing is my main priority in the winter, and in the summer I can just do a bit more of what I want. So that's pretty much me.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You can have your job in the winter and then have some fun doing motocross in the summer. That's pretty awesome. So you began racing this year in MXGP at Patagonia, Argentina. You went 20-32 for 22 overall. What happened there? And take us through. That was kind of your first real motocross race of the year, wasn't it?
That was my first real motocross race, yes. But I was actually in Argentina because Argentina hosted the second World Cup race of the beach race series, or they call it the Sand World Cup because it's not everything literally on beaches. But like Le Touquet was the first one in that series. Then we had Argentina. And I literally didn't know the people before I went there. They invited me and got me over. And the first day I made a joke like, hey, I'm now in Argentina. I might as well do the MXGP. But I said it as a joke. But 3 weeks later, I was on the line doing the MXGP. And indeed, I took 1 point in the first moto. And second moto, I rode way better. I was like all the way up to 16th position. And then I broke my chain because a stone went in it. And so it was the 32 what you just said. I saw it as a DNF.
That sucks.
No, that was just me being me, trying to create some opportunities, and I was on the line at the MXGP in Argentina.
It seems like this year you've had a lot of jokes that turn into actually racing. It's kind of crazy. So before you came, or in between racing the GP and all the other stuff you do, I saw you race the Dutch Masters, French Championship, and I believe British too at some point. That's insane, man. What? Such a chaotic schedule. What made you want to race all those?
Well, I didn't do the British Championship, but so for my beach racing, I'm contracted to Honda SM Moto Blues, which is the official French Honda team, and I'm contracted for the beach race series, and this runs from October till February until Le Touquet. And last year they provided me with a bike, but I didn't have a real plan for the summer. So, and when you are like so hardcore motivated for some goals in the winter, it's really hard to stay motivated if you don't really have a series to do. So this year I said to myself, hey, I will for sure do a series somewhere. And then KMP Honda, which is the German Honda team, they gave me a ride to do the ADAX. But it still gave me the freedom to do some side races. So I did a lot of French races where, well, in France they still have like show-up money, they call it. So you come and do the race. And because I have a bit of a name from the beach racing, they invite me there to come over. Then I did a French championship race, also just because you got invited. And then the German series indeed, and America and Canada. So pretty much all around the world.
Yeah, you've been everywhere this year, man. So, like you mentioned, the United States, you came here last year. Not many people knew of you at that point, but this year you made a name for yourself. We'll get into that in a minute. But you started in Redbud, and you did relatively well with 19, 13 for 17th overall. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
What was your first race of the year in the U.S. like for you?
Well, I knew from last year that it was just mainly hot in America.
Yep.
So, and I just needed to be a bit more serious as last year. Not that I was not serious, but I just needed to have all my plans more scheduled a bit. Like knowing what you're going to do there. Don't try to do shortcuts. Just do everything how you should do it. And yeah, so I showed up in Redbud, was a bit nervous. Also because I came off from a bit of a shoulder injury. But yeah, I already pretty much forgot about that when I was there. And then, yeah, it was really hot. But me and Corey got the job done and did pretty well. And from then, that moment on, it really started snowballing with like getting a name out. But like, I don't care really much to have a name, but I just like the opportunities that came up because of getting more media attention. So that's cool.
Yeah, you get to deal with the annoying media guys like me, and you get to have better deals, right? It works out.
Yeah. No, but I don't get me wrong. I really like to just tell my story, to tell everybody what I do, because in some way, well, I don't see it as unique, but if I just look at like how my year have been, it starts to become a bit unique, because I literally forgot about Argentina. I know I was there, but it feels like it was last year already.
Yeah.
Just because of all the things I've done. And it's in February, so really of the start of the motocross season. And then, like, one of my mates, which is helping me with my video things, he is also like a bit of a sponsor of Glenn Koldenhoff. So, and then Koldenhoff said to Adam, he said like, dude, Lars is everywhere. He even was in Argentina. And I literally forgot about that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's this year.
Yeah.
So I've been like really riding around the globe this year.
Yeah, and like you did say it was hot in America. I just wanted to point out, you are a winter racing guy, so maybe that has something to do with it. But on to Southwick. You were more consistent going there. You still did good. 16-15 for 16th overall, one better than Redbud. Sand is your specialty, though, so this was expected. Take us through how Southwick went for you. This was kind of the beginning of the real snowball into you getting really popular.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Southwick is originally my whole plan to race in America was Southwick, because I've had a full-time job from age 21 till age 25, and I was literally working a 45-hour job. And I always said before I quit racing, because at that moment I really thought I had only a few more years in me before it was not worth doing full-time motocross anymore. Well, full-time, I mean like really doing the Dutch Masters and really still going for it.
Yeah.
Until work really takes over. And then I said, well, before I quit motocross, I want to do Southwick one day. And well, I don't know, not a lot of people know, but as a European going to America and not having the name of Hurlings or Prado or Favre, for example, it is really hard to convince someone to give you a bike or to be able to rent somewhere, or just to even get in contact with people who are around the area where you want to race. Because in California, you can rent a bike everywhere. But Southwick, it is not really the mecca of motocross over there. So, yeah, after a few years, I said, one of my friends actually was going to race there, and he asked me to go the full year with him, but I was still like just a beach racer at that moment, so I was not really planning to do a whole season. But after a few times, he said, just come over for this and this round. And then I said, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And so I couldn't do that one, but I was like, shit, I just need to go over anyway and see where it leads. Yeah, that was last year. And then this year I was going to go for Southwick. And then, yeah, I know it was going to be hot. And I know Lawrence once told me that Southwick has its own little unique kind of hardness, or like being tough.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the heat. So as a sand track, it's not really that, well, compared to Lommel or all the Dutch races we have in sand, it's not that sandy. Well, don't get me wrong, it's still sandy, but it's not bottomless sand.
Yeah.
And you can still, how you say it, find your way around the big holes and the big berms.
Yeah, it's not like Lommel where it's a constant wave all the way around the track.
Exactly. So you can take your breathers every here and there and just sit out of a corner. And in Lommel, I always take the example Lommel because everybody knows Lommel.
Yep.
But we have 100 sand tracks in the Netherlands, which can be a lot tougher. But yeah, everybody knows Lommel, so that's why I take that as an example. But Southwick is so hot that you cannot explain it to a European. It is literally riding in a sauna with full gear on, and it's just tough. And I also feel like it's a bit more of a power track, and what I mean with that is if you are underpowered, it's really hard to make passes because it's a lot of 180-degree corners, immediately uphill, or some sort of, it's just not, you don't have to keep your momentum as much as you need to do in a regular sand track with long corners, and it's a lot more hard braking and acceleration. So I felt like, I've already told this a few times, but I felt a bit underpowered in Southwick, and that made it harder for me. But I didn't know that at that moment, so I was not really happy about my 16-15 in Southwick, so I was not pumped about that. But the snowball, it's funny we say snowball because it's really hot in America, so the snowball would have already been melted.
Yeah.
But we went down to Canada the next day, and there I had like a real good bike, and then I would still love to race Southwick and Redbird on a bike of that kind, like with the power, because Redbird I couldn't even make the triple. Like I literally cased the shit out of it halfway the first moto, and then I decided to not give it a second try because I had one bike, and that bike had that pair of wheels in, and if I would have broken my wheel, I would have been done for the day.
Yeah.
So, but I was literally tapped out there and I couldn't make it. And I only found out later when I stepped on a pretty much tuned American bike, and I was like, oh, whoa. Now I just know that it's maybe even more special. I finished 13 in the first moto Redbird.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So after, like you said, Canada, so you threw down in Southwick, went to Canada the next day, which is insane. You had a really successful day there. I think you finished, what was it, third overall, second overall? I didn't watch it. I just saw that you did really good there.
Yeah, that's a pity that you didn't watch.
I don't even know where to watch Canadian motocross.
Rider TV. Ride TV it is.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we drove from Southwick in the evening. Actually, Corey literally asked me, like, do you still want to go to Canada? Because he really saw that I was, not pissed, but I was so done with the heat.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was really hot in Southwick. Because, I think it was hot, but I've heard Americans that said, like, it was one of the hottest Southwicks ever. And, I cannot tell you about that because I've never been to Southwick before, so I cannot tell in person.
Yeah.
But the fact that you see Anderson and Cincerello, like, completely fading the last two laps, like, time-wise, because I didn't pass them, but they were dropping hard, that means that it was hotter than normal. So he asked me, like, do you still want to go? Because I was having a tough time. I said, yeah, we're still going. So we rented the car, drove to Go for Junes, crashed on the couch, went 4-2 for third overall, which was, of course, I always wanted, that's my goal when I went there, I wanted to do a podium, but seeing the circumstances and all the people there, like, living really up to that race on that day, and for me, it was just an extra, how you say, the byproduct of the weekend. And yeah, we did really well there.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good byproduct to get on the podium, get some bonus money, and you were probably so tired after that, man. But so you did all that in Canada, and then you head back to Europe, and like we talked about Lommel, you raced the legendary Lommel MXGP race as well. Are you crazy? You ended up going 22-21 on the day, so 22nd overall. But you did seem pretty angry after that race. I'm sure you could have done better, but what happened in Lommel?
Yeah, that's true, and it's funny that you say, like, you've made some good prize money. I literally, like, haven't had $1 yet because I still need to find a way to get it here.
Oh,
So
that sucks.
I literally don't know how much I made.
Well, you can wire it to me, and I'll hold on to it for you. How's that?
Yeah, I'll definitely find a way to get it. But I mean, like, it's funny that, my trip has been so successful in a way of me enjoying it, because in the end I all do this for passion. Like nobody had to tell me to go and race in America. I just literally do this because I like it and I wanted to do it, and I was just so happy and energetic that I pretty much, well, I don't forget about the prize money because it's super nice to get it, but like it wouldn't change my mood if I wouldn't get $1 now anymore. You know what I mean? Like I still get it, no problem, but it's because of the passion and how much I liked it to be there, and how successful in a way of course also the marketing side, like all the media that picked it up, but just me enjoying that trip with my buddy Corey was like, it's how you say it, priceless. Like it's way better. You cannot pay for that. Like how much fun we had. But then I got back to so the prize money is an extra in this way.
Yeah. Money comes second after that kind of trip.
Yeah, really. But of course, I'm still a privateer when I'm there, so I really need it because in the end, it has cost a lot of money, but like it already paid back in emotions, or how you call it, like
memories, man, memories.
In memories, exactly. That's it. Like in 10 years or 30 years, when I'm gonna tell this whole story to, grandchildren or whoever wants to guys speak, it's all about the memories and not about the prize money. So yeah, that's true. But then so I went after Senderlee, because the week after Gopher I did another round for the Canadian team in Senderlee. Was a bit bummed that I had to go home, but yeah, like I still have my focus on beach races, so you need to stop somewhere, because you can like postpone your way home, but you need to keep things focused. So I went home after Senderlee on Monday. I literally arrived at my home at like 1 o'clock, and around 2 o'clock I got a call if I wanted to fill in. At first I said no, but the team JWR came up with a nice offer, so I couldn't turn that down. The next day I went riding. Actually, that night I slept really well, but after that, the jet lag really hit.
Oh yeah.
So I literally didn't sleep so good, and I think my body just at that moment started a bit recovering or trying to recover. I was just out of energy in Lommel, and I don't feel like my riding was bad. It was just I had 15 minutes in me, and then I literally dropped. Like as deep as I wanted to go, I just couldn't. I couldn't go as deep as I normally could. And then the last lap, you've seen pretty much the video, I guess. Me punching my bar, and that's just because me being angry that it didn't take points, because I feel like I should be capable of finishing well in the points at an MXGP, especially in the sand, but I just was dead. And I was still really fighting the last lap to get that point, and I was literally next to the guy in front of me, taking that 1 point, but I couldn't make the pass because I almost hit him, and I was just spent. And that's why I was just angry, like, fuck, I'm just so tired.
Yeah, I'm sure. After a month of sleep debt acquired.
Now I'm really trying to recover, but I didn't look at that moment back at how many nights I pretty much skipped when I was in America. But like my first day I arrived there, I had to skip because I had to stay at the airport because my flight got cancelled.
Oh, of course.
And then when you go back from Redbud, for example, going to Redbud, I slept in a camping chair on in the truck. Well, I cannot complain because Corey drove the whole part.
Yeah.
But I slept from like, let's say 1 o'clock in the night until 4 o'clock in a camping chair, which is not real sleep. Then we arrived at the hotel, slept a few more hours there. On the way back, I had a short night again. Then on the way back from Senderlee, also didn't have a too long sleep, also between Southwick and Gopher. So just, if you think about this always takes recovery. And if you don't like get back that amount of sleep, it just takes a toll. And one day it will come out. And I think it was just a weekend of Lommel that I just was a bit of a mess in my energy levels.
Yeah, it definitely sucks to have that all happen before going to Lommel. You definitely could have done better there, but overall, was Lommel a good day for you, besides missing out on the points?
Yeah, it was a super nice weekend because, I don't ride in the Netherlands or Belgium so much anymore. It's mainly France, Germany, and, now it was America. But, yeah, a lot of people have been following it, and I knew because I just see, you see your Instagram, you see your YouTube, like a lot of people are following it, but you only feel how much it is followed when people give you comments on it in person.
Oh, yeah.
And I had so many people coming up to me in Lommel already Friday, Saturday, with pictures, people telling me, oh, I love your videos. Like, that really gives you a good feeling. And that, I was like, whoa, it's bigger than I thought. And also, like, riders who's going to ask me, like, oh, dude, what stuff for Lommel or Southwick? Even mechanics of the KDM team are asking me that. I'm like, dude, well, I can understand they know my name, but I don't understand. Well, I never expect them to follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are still all everybody is person. Is it like we're all people, just persons? So, yeah, I start to understand more why people are following it. Also because I went to Argentina, of course, so I raced there. I do Europe, I do America, Canada, and everybody just started following it. So the amount of love that I got in Lommel made my weekend also like just a big memory and like really cool.
That's awesome to hear, man. Now, you did say you were recovering. Will you be racing any more races this year? You coming back to America? You've been to Dilla before. You coming to Dilla? What's going on, man?
No, I'm not coming back to America this year.
Come on.
Like as I told you, I have the German team KMP Honda. I have a contract there to do the ADAX, which is the German series. So I have a couple of more races for that, and in September my beach racing preparation already starts, and it's already overlapping with the German championship races. So, well, my main focus is still the beach racing, which is a winter activity, and well, I need to take some time off somewhere. So I'm literally like chilling a bit now. Still having to do a German race next weekend, but I need to take some rest somewhere. So, well, I know myself, I could always ride every day, but one day you need to just take a bit of a break to recover, recharge the mental battery maybe more.
Yeah,
To come out swinging in the beach races. So no, I'm not coming to Dilla, but I would love to come back next year. For sure.
We'd be glad to have you over here, man. You've got a lot of fans over here now. It's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that's cool, eh? That's really cool.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Lars. Good luck in your beach racing and all your other ventures. Hopefully we see you back in America next year, and maybe you'll do some GPs. Who knows? You're everywhere, man. But yeah, thanks for coming on. You're a beast of a motocross racer, and I was happy to see you back here. And yeah, best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. No, it was a pleasure to be on your show also. And yeah, I just love adventurous things. So to combine that with moto, it's, yeah, you can't wish for more.
Huge thanks to Lars for calling in today. He's truly a great guy. Glad to have him on. All right, today's Moto News is brought to you by Sweet Life CBD. Sweet Life has some of the best CBD products. They have gummies, oils, topicals, shots, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're in pain, this is the best and most natural way to heal up. Head to GetSweetLife.com or click the link in the description. Use code TMN to get 20% off your order. All right, today's first story is a story out of the MXGP Championship, and it's not one that I wanted to report on. Monster Energy Yamaha rider and this year's MX2 champion favorite, Jago Geerts, got hurt yet again and is expected to sit out most of the rest of the season due to this nasty crash and injury that happened at the MXGP of Finland this weekend. Geerts was involved in an unfortunate incident with another rider after the guy fell in front of him on the opening lap of race 1. He was unable to avoid the fallen rider's bike. The Belgian collided with it and went over the handlebars. He got stuck under the bike, but he was able to walk off the track without assistance. He experienced pain in his left clavicle, sought medical attention immediately at the medical care center. Further assessment confirmed a fracture. He broke his collarbone yet again. There was a picture of it, but it was deleted, so I can't find one for you. Here's the clip of his crash, though. Pretty nasty. So this is yet another speed bump in Jago Geerts' impressive season, which includes 11 race wins and 9 podium finishes, 6 of those being GP victories. Jago has now been sent back to Belgium to complete yet another surgery. This is the second time he's been out this year, but this one in particular sucks to see. At the beginning of the year, Geerts was way ahead in the championship, dominating. After his first injury and comeback, he wasn't really expected to be in the title battle again, but somehow he managed to come back dominant and gain traction in the points. This weekend, he was expected to kind of close in on points leader Andrea Adamo until he got hurt. I was really looking forward to see Geerts battle for the title a second time in the year. That's pretty crazy. No one would have thought he'd come back from injury like that. It would have been awesome to see, but now it's impossible for him to win the championship unless something crazy happens. But he may come back for the final few rounds just to race. Who knows, but time will tell on that one. In the end, it really sucks to see. We wish Jago luck on the surgery and hope to see him back on the gate again soon. All right, our second and final story of the day is regarding popular privateer rider here in the U.S., Jerry Robin. He's had an alright year in the 450 class, currently sits 18th in point standings, but today we're going to talk about something that could have killed him off the bike. A few days back, Robin had posted a picture in his story, which has since been lost, of his elbow that looked really inflamed, kind of a lump. He then put out a post a day later saying that it was bad and that he had to go to the ER. Well, as of yesterday, he is in better shape and gave us an update on his elbow. Come to find out, his elbow had an internal infection and turned septic, and he nearly lost his arm. The doctor said had he not gone in, he could have lost that arm for sure. Now, luckily, it didn't hit his bloodstream either. That could have been worse than that, the doctor said, so you know, he could have died from that one. In the end, they ended up pulling out a bunch of pus and had to do a quick surgery on him. He seems to be fine now, a lucky guy for sure. Robin said in his health update last night, quote, "God is good, surgery went well thanks to Dr. Alexander. Not sure recovery time on this one, but I'm grateful for everyone that reached out and checked in on me. It means a lot to me." He also further explained the situation, but it was basically what I already read and said to you, so I just cut that out of this. This guy is so lucky and unlucky all in one situation. This situation was bad, but it could have been really worse, so I'm glad Jerry is okay, and hopefully we see him lining up at Unadilla in a couple of weeks. Get well soon, J-Rob. Well, that's all the news I have for you today. It's a slow news day, but we had a great guest on, so hopefully that makes up for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow if you're on Spotify. Go snag a magazine and support our sponsor, Sweet Life CBD. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.